back to another video. So today we're going to be doing our Albaz Despia deck profile. So let's just get right into it. Alright, so to start off with the fusion materials, I like to use Ecclesia and Ra. Obviously we know why we use these, and of course you got your standard 3 Albaz. Like, you can't play any less than this because, like, you know, this is kind of the main portion of the deck. If you don't have this, you can't really play. I chose Ecclesia instead of Cartesia because Cartesia is kind of expensive. If you guys know me already, then you guys know that I can't really spend too much money on this game, but I try my best to do whatever I can, and Ecclesia is a great budget option. She's also good because you could search her off of Branded Lost, so it's nice. Yeah, so we'll move on. Next, we have all the searchables off of Lost, which is Albion, the Kit, and the 2 Courier. I used to run 3 of these because I really like the way how this is. I only run these 2 now because, you know, you don't want to see them in your opening hand too much. It's better to search them off and then fusion with them if you can. It's not great if you prick with it because then it's kind of dead. It does work really well with Allure of Darkness though, especially if you have like Tragedy in hand too, then yeah, it works well. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the only reason. Everything else is pretty standard. There's no real reason to question it. Next we have the Bestials, so I run Sarnur, I can't pronounce that, 2 Druid Swarm, and I run 1 Mahegamut. I'm going to run 3 of these. I just don't have the money to spend currently on this card. Currently, since I am in Canada, it is like $22 US, which, like, I can't remember, I think it's about like 26 Canadian or something. So it comes out to a little bit expensive per copy, and if you're wondering, I did not buy this. I actually pulled it, which is pretty nice. So if you can play more, play more. It's just, I only use this just because it's the last one I had, and it's a nice search at the end. And it's basically DB Crow, but better. Alright, moving on. Moving on to the Despia stuff. So, in the Despia stuff, we have, of course, 1 Ad Libitum. We have the 3 Tragedies. And, of course, the 3 Allures. Now, this is all I run currently for the Despia package, and I used to run Dramaturge as well, but I don't run Dramaturge anymore just because, like, again, it's same thing with Mercurier. You don't like to open with it. I mean, like, it's nice for the summon and whatever, but now that Super Poly is, like, so prevalent in every single deck, it's like, you'd rather just not. Ad Libitum is much better anyways. I've considered running 2 of him, but, like, again, I don't want to brick with him, so running 1 is fine. Yeah, 3 Tragedy standard, 3 Allure also standard. These are all very good cards, so yeah. Moving on, we are going to the spells now. So, for the spells, we of course play 3 Allure of Darkness. We got Gold Sark, Called By, and this is it for the miscellaneous stuff, mainly because Allure of Darkness is really broken just for the draw 2, and then you get effects later. This is good for like just sending Tragedy or Mercurier to banish, and then just like getting them back later, and getting your effects off during your own turn, which is nice. And Called By, this is just standard if you can run more, like obviously you can't run any more, but like if you were able to because of the ban list, then I would definitely be running like a playset, but obviously because of the ban list, we can only run 1, so yeah, it's kind of sad, but whatever, it is what it is. Moving on, we have the hand traps, or the board breakers, I should say. So we run 3 Super Poly because, of course, really broken card, 3 Dark Ruler. So if you can run Droplet, I would consider running Droplet instead. Dark Ruler is a very nice card, but because of all the tier limits running around, this card isn't great. If you see it, it helps, but it's not the best. The best combo I like to do is if you open one of these, then I like to go Super Poly first, get Recalcosa off, so that she summons herself, then go Dark Ruler, and then like just continue your combos from there, because then they can't really stop you. And yeah, that's about it. I do really like this package here. It's much better than running hand traps, in my opinion, but yeah. Now for the branded spells. So we have 1 Theater of the Branded, we have 1 Lost, 2 Branded in Red, because of course this is just standard, 3 Opening, can't play any less, and of course 3 Branded Fusions. So this is a bit of a tough one to explain. So I have all the necessary stuff for Patchwork except for Guardian Chimera and the 3 Patchwork. I have the Edge Chain and the 2 Polys, but because of I don't have Patchwork, I can't really run it. I've been trying to get Patchwork for a very, very long time, but ever since it came out, like ever since the Despia stuff came out, then they've just been selling out like crazy. I have to get the new Crystal Beast Battles of Legend that just came out, so that would definitely help, because this is kind of bad. I like that it's searchable, but other than that, it's not great. It doesn't really do anything for you. Yeah, everything else is just standard, so we don't really need to talk about standard stuff. If you're not playing anything less than 3 Fusion and 3 Opening, then get them. Moving on to the traps of the deck. So I run 1 Expulsion for the Raw that I showed you earlier in the video, and I run 1 Retribution. The reason why I run Retribution is that it's a very nice card to send off of Albion, like from your hand, from the deck to the grave, so then you can draw a free card. And this card has a banish effect, just like Branded Sword for the people that run Branded Sword, but instead of adding a banished monster that mentions Fallen Albaz or just Fallen Albaz himself, it banishes itself from the graveyard, and then you get to add back like a free spell or trap from your grave. So it's nice if somebody like Twin Twisters your back row, and then you just like, oh, okay, I want to get back my card, or like your opponent has Dragoon, let's say, you activate Branded Fusion, they negate with Dragoon, you banish this card from your graveyard, add it back, activate it again. It's just really nice. This is standard, of course, because of Raw, like I mentioned earlier, and that's about it. So we're going to move on to the extra deck. So in the extra deck, we have, of course, the 2 Super Poly targets, which we like to do as Mud Dragon and Predaplant. So, like, Predaplant's kind of obvious. I used to run Starving Venom. I was told it's not very good anymore, this format for Starving Venom, and I somewhat agree, I somewhat disagree. I've been trying him out, but I haven't really able to fusion summon him. Like, it's just never really come up, but I have fusion summoned Starving Venom more times than I can count, so, like, I don't know, I prefer Starving Venom, but this is always a good super target, so it's whatever, I really don't care, it's either or, right? Moving on to the Despia package in the extra deck. So, of course, we play these 3. So, Quarterus, just standard. Quarterus is really good, especially against something like Numerons, for example, since now that Mystic Mine is banned, finally. This is really good against, like, Numerons and big stuff that you can't really get over unless it's fusion monsters. And then this is really good for time, and also it's good for scaring your opponent into trying to get rid of these first before getting rid of your Mirror Jade. Yeah, they're just pretty standard. If you can make both of them in one turn like I do, I prefer it because it's just a lot easier to make these. I went to a locals, and I managed to come like 23rd out of like 46, and I only lost in last round because I bricked really hard. And it wasn't even with the finished deck, like what I'm showing you guys here. It was completely different because I didn't run the Bestials yet. But yeah, it was, I managed to put these 2 against Sprite Tier, and then I actually ended up winning because he wasn't able to out these in time, and then I burned him to death. So do recommend running 2 of these. I was considering running 3, but 2 is fine. 2 is fine as it is. So we're gonna move on to the Albaz stuff. So of course we run Sprind, Brigand, and Alba. Somebody told me I needed to switch out Sprind and I do agree. I don't really like having Sprint in the extra deck. I can't remember what I used to play him before. Yeah, it was just an interesting... It's an interesting card to get off if you don't really have anything that you need. And you have, like, I don't know, Mirror Jade, but you need something in your hand for a follow-up. It's nice, but it kind of feels late in the game that it's kind of useless. So, I don't know. I like Brigand a lot. The only reason I use Brigand is for the Mercurial Search. Because if you don't know, Brigand says that you can add any... you can add Fallen of Albaz or Mercurial, or Tri-Brigade card specifically. I think... No, yeah, it's just a Tri-Brigade monster, and since this is a Tri-Brigade, that you could just add Mercurial, and then go, hey, you want to activate your card? Sure, I'll negate. And this is nice too, so it's like sort of a free negate. He also special summons Albaz, which is really nice, so that's why I play him over Titaniclad, because he has that extra effect to add Courier. And Titaniclad doesn't do its job very well in my experience. Alba's nice, Dragonlink's coming back sort of, so just fuses everything away. If you guys are wondering, yes, I still have Dragonlink. I want to make more videos on that, but I don't know what I'm gonna build with it. But yeah, just the idea of using Alba is really nice. Even sending him off, it's a free send for Branded Fusion. So he's really nice as well. Let's move on. Alright, so then we have, of course, the 2 Lubellion, 3 Albion. Like, I don't know, this is just very standard, there's not much to say about this. When your opponent D-shifters you, just go for the Lubellion. When you're not D-shifter, just go for the Albion and make Lubellion, and then go into Jade. There's nothing really more to say about that, except, you know, that's the combo. You know what, I remember now, I actually used to run Dragoon in this deck. I used to run Hex Sealed as well. And that's why I used to get off, like, my big boss monster. I'll show you guys the 2 Mirror Jade first. So I run 2 Mirror Jade. This is your boss monster. This is really nice to get off. This is technically better than Dragoon, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, especially the way that I was summoning Dragoon. So let me explain. I used to run Dragoon in this deck, and the only reason I stopped was because of the amount of resources that it required just to make him, and then there was no real payoff because I was sort of cheating him out. What I mean by that is that I used Hex Sealed and Albaz with Branded Fusion to make Albion, and then Albion banishes it to either makes Lubellion or just Dragoon right away. But then the problem is that it's more prevalent to brick with them than it is to actually do well. So I sort of stopped running it, but Dragoon is really good because I did go like 23rd out of 46 when I was using it, and no tier player could get over it, which is really, really nice. So it is a good idea to use, but I do like recurring Mirror Jade a lot more. Mirror Jade is a very broken card. If you can get him off multiple times in the turn, you'll see what I mean. Like, he's insane. Finally, we're gonna go to the side deck. Let me just grab my stuff here. Alright. So obviously you got your awesome tokens. I love these. Alright. So, start off with the monsters. So, of course, I run 2 Shifter, 3 DD Crow. I run a Meowsclick just until December 1st, and Necroworld or Zombie World. I'll get to the spells in a second. Essentially, I only run 2 because I only have 2. I used to have another one, and I stupidly traded it away, but that was like back in 2019, so that was a while ago. I only run 2 right now because, again, like I said, I only have 2. I will eventually get more. 3 DD Crow, of course this is all just for tier stuff. I'm considering taking these out now because we have Bestial, so there's probably more room to play something else. If I were you guys, play Evenly instead of this. Evenly Match is so much better. Again, I'm poor though, so it's kind of hard to get this. Meowsclick. Now, I've shown this in a lot of my deck profiles, like a lot of them, and I have to say I love this card, specifically against Mystic Mine. I have went to regionals, I went to locals, people who play Mystic Mine, and then I slap this on them, they never see it coming, and the best part is that it's so underused that nobody knows what it does. So if you guys don't know, when a field spell card is activated in the field zone, right, it special summons itself, and then what it does is that during your opponent's turn, your field spell is negated, but during my turn, or your own turn, then the opponent's field spell is negated. In other words, your opponent activates Mystic Mind during your turn, special summon Meowsclick because a field spell was activated, and then on top of that, Meowsclick negates the Mystic Mind. So that's why I love to play this card just before the Descent of Curse ban list. I still might play this card just because of Flu, but I don't know, we'll have to see how the format goes before I continue playing this, because I don't really like using the 1-of. I may change it to 3 because I did get a playset. But yeah, if you... I do recommend running this. Now, I still run Spell and Trap Removal, but this is really broken, so I do recommend. I'm going to put these off to the side for now because I need to explain Necroworld. So Necroworld, first of all, she's really nice. She searches out the zombie world and either adds it to hand or activates it, and I prefer just activating it. This stops a lot of decks. It stops... what's it called? Sword Soul. It stops like Dragon Link, you know, a bunch of really, really broken decks. It just shuts them down. And like the best part is that because we only run one, what you do is when it's game 2, activate a Branded Fusion, send her an Almaz, just make Lubellion. Lubellion's effect activates, chain to Lubellion, banish this card from your grave, activate Zombie World directly from your deck. And then, yeah, your opponent's just shut down. You make Jade, and the best part is that Zombie World doesn't even affect you. Now, the other thing that's really nice about this is this technically gets around Rivalry Warlords, but it's harder to use resources in your hand. So I don't know, it's kind of difficult to explain, but yeah, you guys get the idea. But that's why I love running Necroworld. She's a really great card to use in this deck. So yeah, just food for thought, I guess. Moving on, we have the Spell and Trap Removal. 3 Cosmic, and Harpies. Yes, this is Italian Harpies, before anyone asks. So, Cosmic Cyclone, I really like. This banishes instead of destroys. This format, that's especially good. So, Cosmic Cyclone, it's good against, like, Eldritch especially, because, like, Eldritch can't... It needs their cards in the graveyard, if that makes any sense, before you can let their effects resolve, so it's really nice to do that. Yeah, there's nothing really much to say about it, it's just kind of there. It's kind of standard. I just like running Harpies as well, because Harpies is just a quick way to get rid of, like, Flu stuff, and, you know, it's nice, it's nice. Now, the other card that I really like, I only play one of it right now. I'm planning on getting more. If you can get more, play it. I'm playing Spellbound. Now, you guys might be thinking, like, well, why are you playing Spellbound? Nobody's using it. This, specifically, I use against decks that would either Link spam a lot, like Dragon Link, or Sky Striker, and Flu. The reason why you use this is because what it says is that all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls cannot be tributed or used as fusion material for Fusion, Synchro, Seize, or Link Summon. So it stops all of the summoning mechanics except Pendulum, of course. And then it just stops, it shuts down Flu entirely. Like, they cannot play around this. I need to get more of this. I really do like using this against Flu. They just end their turn and they can't do shit. So it's really, really nice to activate this and then watch them, like, get all pissy about how you have Spellbound and they don't. So yeah, I do recommend using this. Don't use this against Tier because they fusion summon from grave. This says all cards your opponent currently controls, which is the important part, which means that all monsters that they have right now, but like cards in their hand, can still work, so you have to know exactly when to use this. But yeah. And then finally, the last 2 cards in the side deck. 2 D-Barrier. I usually run 3. I only run 2 for now because like there wasn't exactly enough space, and I just got D-Shifter. So I'm probably going to take out like DD Crow and replace it with something else. Probably the other 2 Spellbound later on, and the 1 D-Barrier when I actually get it. Both of them working together is also really nice. This also shuts down a lot of decks, like it shuts down Tier, it shuts down Sword Soul, it just shuts down a lot of decks, which is really, really nice. And yeah, it's a really nice card, honestly. And even at 2, it's still nice, because even if you have to negate your own monsters, they can still activate. Like if you have Jade on board and you flip this bad boy up and you call fusions, if you don't chain to it and let's say your opponent does whatever instead, then a good thing that I like to do is that after this resolves, you can activate Jade, and since it's negated, then during the next turn, it can activate its effect again, because it never had its effect go off to begin. Like, it never went through, and it's not a hard once per turn, which is really nice. In fact, I don't even believe it's a once per turn, it's just you can't use it, you have to use it every other turn, basically what it says in its card text. So yeah, that's basically it for the deck profile, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's been really fun making it. I've been wanting to come back and make stuff for a while. It's been difficult though, since I've had school on my back for a while. I actually just finished an exam yesterday, so it's been very tough. The last time I spoke to you guys, I was in 12th grade, so obviously I graduated. A lot's happened since then. Summer has been a complete mess, so yeah. Anyway, you probably don't want to hear about my life story, but you get the idea. Anyway, guys, it's been nice doing a video again, so hopefully you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys later.